Our Wheel World.
Deja vu. We've been home for 3 days. Now it's off to Ottawa.
So we are on our way to Ottawa, and Ottawa's one of my favorite cities in the world because I lived there for 6 years. So I know Ottawa well. It was where I went to university, go Carleton. So I'm excited to be going back to Ottawa for a speaking engagement tomorrow. I'm even going to meet up with one of my old university friends, so that'll be very exciting.
So we're in the business class lounge waiting for the train. I think I said in one of the previous videos that the train to Ottawa is the good train, and that's because there's actually some interesting history with these trains. So we learned this a little while ago, but years ago Via Rail bought all these trains and they weren't accessible. So they said, well, sorry, we got these trains cheap, secondhand, but wheelchair users can't ride. And then people sued them because that's discrimination, and they fought it, and so Via Rail fought this, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court, who said, you bought the trains, it's your responsibility to make them accessible. So they forced Via Rail to make these trains accessible. Now, Via Rail chose to create one spot for a wheelchair user, and they decided to create a spot in first class, just because then nobody could complain.
There is one spot per train now that has also been challenged in court by someone that I know.
Just recently.
Just very recently. And the Supreme Court has said you need multiple spots per train. So things are going to change again for train riders. And the current system that we have of me riding in first class might not last for too much longer.
Now, Tim says that because it's being challenged that only one wheelchair user per train can go on them, they might eventually make more spots, which might mean that our sweet deal is over. But here's the sweet deal that we get. So for one economy ticket, Tim gets to ride in first class. He gets to bring an attendant or someone with him for free who also rides in first class, and then obviously the dog rides free. So for one economy class ticket to Ottawa, we get our own like whole table little area on the train. We get in the first class. And first class then means we get, like, you know, a 3-course meal, unlimited drinks, chocolates, snacks, and just good service. And I love the train to Ottawa because of this. It's probably the only reason I'm coming with Tim on this trip, is because I like the train. So this is the good train, which has this whole floor space. I get 2 seats, so that's Rush's seat, just like on the airplane.
It's not like sitting.
It's not like sitting. And then this table for me. And then there's Tim. First round of food on the train, snacks and drinks. I got some Rickard's Red. Tim never gets a drink on the train because the idea of trying to keep it still with the train moving is nearly impossible. But he will take the snacks. Hot towels. You know, I get the sense that when the idea of the hot towel came about, they weren't being delivered in wet white packages. Tim always likes the hot towel for some reason. Show us what you do with it. I remember the first time they served these to us. Tim had taken the train many times before me, and I was like, I don't know what to do with a hot towel. Tim was like, you wipe your hands, or wipe your face. Pasta, cake, a little cheese plate. That's new. Not the fanciest thing in the world, but it's included.
I got this.
This is a different configuration of cab. I actually sit behind Tim here.
I like these ones.
Dog's on the floor. Yeah, this one works out a bit better. This is almost like the ones in England.
Yeah.
Okay, we have arrived at the Lord Elgin. There's like a letter here, which is interesting. We'll open that in a second. But Tim, how many times did you check for the clearance under the bed?
About 3.
Okay, so Tim's come in, took one look at this bed and said there's no clearance. Now, I think that's a bed skirt. We have not tested it. Moment of truth before we do anything else. Will this lift? Watch out, Rush. Oh, carpet. Fit under this bed. Huzzah!
Hooray!
Now we're doing better than Cleveland and Niagara Falls.
So we've just arrived in our room at the Lord Elgin, and we found a mystery letter.
Now this is a swanky hotel, more swanky than we're used to staying at. So I picked this up and I thought, oh my gosh, they leave this for everybody. What is it? Is it a thank you card for staying with them? What is it?
Could be.
Oh. Oh, it's a picture of, I guess, this hotel.
Yep.
Welcome on behalf of all the staff and management. It's a pleasure to welcome you. Yada, yada, yada. That's pretty funny. Nice TV, Keurig coffee. I'm a fan of those systems in hotels versus the other systems. Tim doesn't care. He won't drink anything from that, but I'm a fan. Except for there's also a Starbucks in the basement.
Rashi is not a fan.
Rashi's like, why are we in another hotel? Aw, poor buddy. Let's get your zombie out of the bag. Alright, well, we checked into the hotel. Everything seems okay.
The lift works. We even tested it.
The lift works, and it goes up high, which is something we need. And it's... The only thing is there's just not a lot of room. So this is going to be tight, but it's doable. And I unpacked in like 2 minutes, thanks to packing cubes.
Everybody should get packing cubes.
Yeah. So now we're gonna go eat dinner.
At a Scottish pub.
That's what Tim's hoping for. The concierge says it's accessible, so fingers crossed.
We're gonna go see.
Okay. We just arrived in this Scottish pub as recommended by the concierge. It is accessible. Apparently, even though Tim lived here, he didn't know this. Apparently, this area of Ottawa is the Scottish Quarter. So say what you just said to me, Tim. About how good the travel was.
Yeah, all things considered, that was probably our smoothest travel and hotel check-in experience in all the traveling we've done together. Unlike Cleveland, the lift was there. Unlike Niagara, the lift could fit under the bed. And just generally, the train was comfortable, on time, even a bit early.
When we called a cab, it came in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, drinks are here. So yeah, the cab we called came, and now the service at this pub has been great. So.
Hooray!
This bar has its own train that goes rolling through. So this bar actually does whiskey flights. I never really drank a lot of whiskey, but my dad likes it, and I've always wanted to like it. So I'm tasting some. This is not Tim's thing. I doubt it's going to be a big part of my life, but this bar had over 170 of them. So, what better place to try out a few? Also, pretty much the funniest thing I've ever seen. They gave me all the tasting notes, and this one, let's see if it'll focus. This one has a nose, as in the scent, among other things, of classic iodine/sticking plasters. This whiskey is smelling notes of Band-Aids. It is Tuesday morning in Ottawa. Tim is downstairs having lunch with a friend. I am like dressed and up, but I'm in the bed because it is so rainy and so cold. Look at this dog. He is soaking wet, and he wants so desperately to climb into this bed with me. I don't blame him. It's cozy, but he's not getting in the bed. Yes, we are at the Museum of Nature.
It's where I'm doing my speaking gig, and we have found the largest elevator. I don't know if we'll be able to get the scope of this.
You could fit 12 wheelchairs in here. I have never seen an elevator so big.
Normally elevators end right at about this wall, right where I'm kind of sitting now. But then there's like 2 whole other elevators.
Well, I have the afternoon to myself, but it is a miserable day here in Ottawa. All right, so I spent a very wet afternoon in Ottawa. I went to the mall to look for some clothes for Tim. He is starting a new job. We should talk about that at some point. But I didn't find anything that I particularly felt good about buying without his opinion. But I did find something else very exciting to me. I don't know, have you guys heard of this? So I found an entire store dedicated to artisan, classy gummy candies. And I love gummy candies, and I love that it's okay for adults to eat them now. Not just for kids anymore. I'm super excited about this big mixed bag. Yeah, I went in because he was just immediately like... We found
A board game cafe!
this is like
With really good food and drink.
this is like our heaven here, and it's accessible, and it was close to our hotel, and it's 9 o'clock and we've been here since 5. So that's like a fifth of the board games over there on the wall, and there's like 900 more games upstairs, which is not accessible, but it doesn't matter because they let us bring those games down. The food was incredible.
It's great.
The atmosphere is great. The music has been great. We just said, like, if we lived close to this place, we would spend so much money here. It's called Level 1 and the Loft. If you are in Ottawa and you like board games, this is the place to be.
And we recommend it highly.
Yeah. Playing some Splendor. Awesome. Well, that was just about the greatest thing we could have done in Ottawa.
Yeah. So we just got back from Level 1 Board Game Cafe in Ottawa and had a super fun night. Great food, great games, super friendly staff. Great date night out for us. We're big board game people. And yeah, it was a great end to the trip at Ottawa. My speaking gig went well today. Yeah.
And now I'm going to show Tim
Now we're going to eat from a giant bag. Oh my.
gummies that I bought. Okay, here you go, Tim. Gummies.
Oh, Lashy, no, you don't get the gummies.
What are we gonna
Wow.
choose?
Goodbye,
Goodbye, Ottawa.
Ottawa, I love you.